Planet of the Fakes 4 Families. And Pigstar HH News. Dolton wants federal grant to hire more officers after 3 women shot dead in a month. The funds from the Department of Justice will allow the village to hire 15 more full-time officers. 3 recent victims of gun violence in Dolton include, left to right, andMarshia Smith 31, Akira Boston, 16, and Marshia Bowman, 40. After a string of fatal shootings involving women and a teen, the village of Dolton says it's requesting federal money to beef up its shrinking police department. In the last month, the south suburb has seen 3 fatal shootings involving women and a teen girl, nearly half of Dolton's 8 homicides this year. Dolton Mayor Riley Rogers addressed the recent violence in an emergency August 27 Village Board meeting. Rogers blamed it on an overflow from Chicago and gang activity. The victims, andMarshia Smith 31, shot last Sunday in a domestic-related shooting that began as an argument inside a private club. Akira Boston, 16, shot dead on August 27 in a vehicle outside a convenience store. Authorities believe the shooter was targeting another man inside the vehicle, andMarshia Bowman, 40, shot and killed August 21 while driving her 4 kids near Sibley and Chicago roads, blocks from her home. Authorities said they believe the shooter may have been targeting a man in the vehicle ahead of her. No arrests have been made in the Smith and Boston murders, Dolton Police Chief Ernest Mobley said Wednesday. One suspect was arrested Wednesday in Bowman's slaying, about a week after an arrest warrant was issued for a suspect. Mobley said Dolton's police force has shrunk so much that he's requested supplemental patrols by Illinois State Police and the Cook County Sheriff's Office. "We've a large number of officers who have retired and haven't been replaced," Rogers said in the meeting. The department is regularly staffed by 3 patrol officers and a supervisor, Mobley said at the board meeting. 15 officers have retired since 2016 and not been replaced, according to Mobley. Including injured officers on medical leave, the department is short-staffed by 19 officers, he said. Congresswoman Robin Kelly said Tuesday that she talked with the mayor about staffing Dolton's police force to address this shocking spike in violence, and connected him to the appropriate people to apply for federal money. Rogers said during the August 27 meeting he requested $2 million in federal grants from the Department of Justice to hire 15 more full-time officers. That's in addition to the 5 positions Dolton is already trying to staff. The mayor did not respond Wednesday to a request for comment. The federal money and new officers would let the department keep 8 officers on duty at a time, Mobley said. That type of staffing would have been helpful when Dolton police responded on August 19 to a gun battle between an off-duty officer and robbery suspects at a car dealership, Mobley said. Scores of officers from neighboring departments were called in and helped locate one of the 2 suspects. Elder Marty Fitzpatrick, a 30-year Dolton resident and member of Valley Kingdom Ministries International in Oak Forest, leads Dolton residents in praying for justice after a recent string of shootings killed 2 women and a teenage girl. Justin Jackson, Sun-Times. More women dying in gun violence. Dolton has been the recent focus of several fatal shootings involving women, but the violence is comparable to years past. The Cook County Medical Examiner's Office has recorded 6 homicides in Dolton, the same as this time in 2018. In 2019, more women have died in homicides than in years past. In 2018, 9 people were shot to death in Dolton, only one of them female, according to Medical Examiner's Office data. In 2017, 5 people were fatally shot, all males. In 2016, 3 people were shot to death, one of them female. And in 2015, 5 people, all male, died in shootings. Mobley released slightly higher homicide counts for the past 4 years. He said in an email that there are 8 homicides so far in 2019. Mobley said there were 10 homicides in 2018, and 12 homicides in 2017. He did not respond to a request to explain the difference. In the board meeting, Mobley said much of the violence can be pinned on people coming from outside of the village. Dolton is a throughway, he said in the meeting. There's a war going out here, and it's a war going on with our youth. Violence is not limited to Dolton. In the meeting, Dolton officials said the violence was part of a larger trend and the village was unfairly being singled out by the media. Trustee Edward Steve said in a phone call the violence is happening beyond Dolton. There's been an uptick in the whole south suburbs. We had a few unfortunate incidents, but this is a safe community, he said. Calumet City, which neighbors Dolton to the southeast, logged 7 homicides so far this year, all of them males, according to data from the Medical Examiner's Office. That's an increase compared to 3 homicides in 2018 and 2 in 2017. Former Dolton trustee Valeria Stubbs said the violence can be explained by a lack of police and rise in renters. She said many people have moved in from Chicago. You have a lack of police officers, you have so many Section 8 housings in the suburbs, Stubbs said. People migrate out here, and the women unfortunately bring their guys here too, Stubbs said. Dolton resident Moniece Adams speaks at a vigil on Wednesday addressing the village's recent spate of fatal gun violence. Jake Wittich, Sun-Times. Steve was one of a few Dolton trustees who led a vigil on Wednesday paying tribute to the shooting victims and calling for an end to the violence in Dolton. They gathered with village residents and business owners in the parking lot of Melanie Fitness Center, 14,900 Greenwow Odd Road, to light candles and pray for justice. When you come through Dolton and commit crime, we've got some powerful residents that don't mind giving up information, said community activist and Dolton trustee Andrew Holmes. Dolton resident Moniece Adams was one of a few women who stepped forward to share how the shootings have impacted the community. No community should have to go through this. No one should have to be barricaded in their homes, or told not to go outside at a certain time, Adams said. We should be able to go to the grocery store. This community needs to be shared with love. Kenneth Williams, who owns a business in Dolton, said that Dolton residents should not let the recent spate of gun violence scare them from the community. We have people saying they're afraid to drive down Sibley Boulevard because of what they hear from social media or the news media, and I just want people